Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and thank you so much for being here today. I'm actually going to be sharing with you a channeled message. It came to me quite a long time ago and I have already posted it on my website ethernalliving.com, and you can find the link in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. But I wanted to do a video version of this. I will read it aloud anyway, but I will also be doing some interpretations of what more came to my mind along with all of these words. And honestly, it is a privilege and feels like an honor to be sitting here and being able to share all of this with you. So I'm excited how this goes, and what do you guys think about it? Okay, so the first paragraph starts with, why do you bind yourself? Why do you cage yourself? Why don't you free yourself? While the body remains still, the mind travels miles. How else do you dream away? So yeah, this was all about just imagination, daydreaming, even the sleep dream state. We are not exactly here in reality, right? Whatever we are doing in our physical reality, whether we are working or whatever, we always find time to daydream, right? So how else are we able to travel so far and wide and so wishfully? And the mind knows no bounds, right? We can imagine anything we want, and it's okay. Like, it's not always strictly bound to just what we see in our 3D everyday lives, right? So why don't we do this intentionally, creating or taking action towards these dreams, right? That's what was coming to mind. That's why we have, why are you binding and caging yourself, and why aren't you freeing yourself, right? Why are you not? Because you clearly can. You really can, and it hardly matters what your physical constraints are, as long as you have a way of making your dreams come true. And you know what? The way presents itself the moment someone decides to just go for it, right? Just like, the Wright brothers, they wanted to fly, and it must have sounded like crazy because birds fly, humans don't, but then they made it a reality. Yeah, sure, it wasn't actually developing wings, but it was still something a lot more than people of that time were accustomed to. So they did not cage themselves just because it's not yet possible, right? So why don't you dream away, and why don't you live your dreams? That was the type of vibe. Okay, next. Do not fret, dear heart. The mind can lift the heart's desires. Allow your heart to expand. Allow your mind to carry you. There are no limits for you. The you is in capital, so that is referring to the very true you, the very eternal self, the soul, that is the energetic center for all of us, which provides us with the consciousness, right? So here it keeps repeating that yes, dreaming is a very wishful state, and yeah, we are very much emotional about it. It can be just, oh, I want to feel like this, oh, I want to just go away somewhere which brings me so and so, that makes my heart happy. But then without the mind, how will the heart create anything, right? The heart is the center for creativity. It's the center for love and expansion and unity and all things very subtle and beautiful and gentle. Meanwhile, the mind is what makes sense of all of the world around us, and the one that stores memories, and the one that provides us with thought patterns and kind of correlations between different situations, people, etc., right? So we need the mind just as much as we need the heart. So the moment we have that dream, I have a dream, we're just like, well, it can't happen. That's the immediate thing, because we are caging our mind from thinking farther than what we are accustomed to. And the mind is far more capable than just doing menial tasks, right? So that's what this thing is saying. Don't fret your heart, okay? You don't have any troubles. Yes, you do have desires, and you do have some wishful thoughts, and that's not a problem. Let yourself expand. Let the ideas flow. Let it come. and allow the mind to make sense of it, allow the mind to do something about it, allow the mind to decide whether you want to share those ideas or you want to incorporate them within yourself, or what do you want to do with it. Okay, the desires that are there, what do you do about them, right? There are no limits for the essential you, so let the mind carry you according to the senses, according to, well, as the mind advances, how do you act, right? So today the way that you think is not going to be the same 5 years down the line, not even a year down the line, right? So a desire can be a desire and stay in that state until it is ready to be taken forward, until it is ready to be established in some way, whether it is within yourself or it is external to you. Yeah, so there are no limits. Okay, and honestly the true you is not even in a rush, so there's nothing to worry. What are you afraid of? It's like that. Okay, just as the caterpillar transforms in its cocoon, so must you in yours. Just as the butterfly emerges when it's time, so must you when it's yours. Okay, so this is all about, first there is transformation. We come into this world in a very safely ensconced place where we know that this is our mother, this is our father, this is our sibling, these are our neighbors, and these are the values, and this is what we do in this house, and this is what hygiene is, and so on and so forth, right? We learn so many different things that kind of give us our construct of, this is my name, this is who I am, I have so and so qualities, these are my hobbies, things like that, right? So that's a nicely wrapped up cocoon there. You're feeling good and safe. Mother is there providing for you, right? But that's not where you become your own person. That's where you feel safe. That's where you are contained. That's where you learn things that make you ready to embark onto your next stage, right? So the caterpillar, that's you, needs to transform in this cocoon, right? As you learn all of these things, you're changing, you're building, you're gaining, and you become something from that baby stage to, well, when you leave for college, right? You learn quite a few things, and then you need to emerge as a butterfly. You need to emerge from the home because it's time. Okay, you need to now expand and exercise all of the transformation that you went through, all of the learning phases that you went through when you were a child, and you need to exercise all of that in the outside world. And however much we like to, rebel at home and be like, oh, I don't need to know that, I'm not going to be using that, we do end up using quite a few. They're helpful tips sometimes. Okay, we don't have to be exactly the same way, of course not, everyone's different, but it does help to know, for example, how to wash clothes or how to make your own meal on a rainy day, right? So these are the things that we start to exercise. Now, this goes one more step further, of course. The cycles of transformation, or death and rebirth, it's constant. We have different levels. One is just survival. Next is, after you've established your right to exist, you exercise, okay, I'm going to expand a little bit. Let's see how much I can float. Let's see where I can go if I just fill out the space, right? Then the question is, what can I do? What actions can I take, and how will the rewards be? Is this a risk? Is that not a risk? So when you are in that very baby state where you are, more in the concern about safety and security, risk-taking is just out of the question. You know you're not ready for it, right? But as and when you transform through each stage, different types of lessons, depending on your life journey, of course, you start to see that, there are always a different stages, and you are going to be using the lessons of the previous transformation in order to carry you forward into the next one. So unless you learn a specific set of learning in your phase of life, you're not going to be moving forward into the next one. You have to first learn, you have to go through the learning phase, and then you're going to be exercising it, or there will be a test phase, which you then pass, and then, you emerge. Go ahead, you've done your learning, you're ready to go, right? That's what this is talking about. All right. Designed like clockwork, you move with space, you move with time. So this is quite self-explanatory. It's like clockwork. So this kind of later I realized that it also relates with astrology. It relates with just the synchronicities. Right, you are born on a specific day, and that day signifies something. You're given a certain name, and that name signifies something. It does not mean that that time of the day or that particular name is going to cage you in its own identity. No, it is all significations, right? You are like, I identify with this aspect, I agree with this part, but that does not mean you're restricted to that type of identity, right? So designed like clockwork, you're moving in sync with the universe, with the space of it and with the time of it. You're always in sync. You're in step with learning your lessons, and even if you miss something, that's okay. We have contingency plans, not a problem. We got this, right? So in either case, our goal is to move in sync with each other, to have a collective flow of things. It's like we are water droplets in an ocean, okay? That the ocean is us together combined. Yeah, that's the at this point the magnitude of all of this was quite overwhelming for me. Like, oh, that's massive, that's a big map, like moving with space and time. Like that is some crazy synchronization. Right? All right, if the caterpillar was afraid of breaking from its cocoon, we would see no butterflies. If the butterfly was afraid to take flight, we would see none. If the being is afraid of the truth, we will see no light. So as we rejoice in the butterfly's metamorphosis, we must rejoice in ours. You are designed to be free. You are designed to be you. And again, the last you is your soul, your permanent self that learns with every experience, with every lesson, with everything, kind of accumulating all this, knowledge, understanding, insights, just gaining, even through detours and failures and everything harsh and painful. It's learning, it always does, and it will elevate it. Every type of learning, right? It just elevates you. It's educating the soul in order to, everything. Right, like helping it choose the next life better, or helping it design much better, or helping it deal with situations much better, changing its approach towards learning faster. I think so many different things. I mean, who can tell what exactly the plan is, and everyone's is different. But yes, that part where if the caterpillar was afraid of breaking from its cocoon, that's usually us, right? We're always afraid of just like, I don't want to annoy everyone, I don't want to break any rules. So much that, my whole life becomes a risk. And during these moments is usually like, when you're leaving home, going to college, it is very exciting, of course. You're going to make new friends, meet some new people, and new situations, things like that. But at the same time, there is that little bit of nervousness of, I'm going to be alone. If I mess up, no one's going to be scolding me, right? No one's going to be scolding you, and you have to be in charge. You have to take care that you're drinking water and maintaining good health. And in the beginning, sure, it's like a lot of fun. I'm going to have so much junk food, no one's going to say anything. And then we have a stomachache, and then we're like, okay. So this is why, right? So there is that little bit of trepidation, and it just increases with the amount of risk, right? So if you're in college, you can still call your parents and be like, oh, mom, I effed up, right? But if it is like life, like you have to invest all of this, you have to leave a career permanently behind, for example, that's a toughie, that's a big risk. And along with it comes a lot more different things that you have to think about. Can I do it? Is it possible? I mean, how, right? So these things are then going to pull us back. It's one thing to be waiting for the correct time and knowing when the correct time, but using that as an excuse to just hang back, relax, and not do anything, that's a different story altogether, right? So that's what it was signifying in that portion. So we would see no butterflies. We wouldn't see anyone who's free and flying, flitting about and going from place to place, having adventures and just seeing different sights and having so many different experiences and lessons, right? It can't be free, it can't fly away, it can't just do what it feels like doing, it can't feel what it feels like feeling. Alright, there was a lot of feels. But yeah, because the more you stay stuck, you know that you want to go, you know that you should go and all of that, but the technicality of all of it just kind of pulls you back. That's when we have that internal struggle. We know we wanna, but we're also like, maybe not break anything. But sometimes it's necessary to break some things, right? Going for your freedom, because yeah, you're designed to be free. Your free will, free choice, all of that. So yeah, that's my channel message. If you're interested, you can reread the whole poem. I don't have the interpretations in this, so you're gonna have to do it yourself. See what other takes you have. Maybe you get something out of it. I hope it gives you some help. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye.